We've witnessed some of the most overpowered and over-the-top attacks by anime characters who redefine what it means to be epic, but they become twice as thrilling when they're visually stunning as well. So today at ViniiTube, we're taking a look at the most legendary, visually stunning showcases of power. Here we go. Let's start this list off with Zap Renfro from Blood Blockade Battlefront, who lights up the screen literally whenever he shows up. I mean, when you're part of a secret organization that keeps the balance between humans and otherworldly creatures, your coolness factor is already off the charts. But Zap takes it to a whole new level with his jaw-dropping technique, 7th Hell. Out of all Zap's techniques, his 7th Hell is one of the most visually stunning and devastating techniques. You see, dude uses his own blood to create extremely powerful weapons and attacks, and he used it against Regenerator, a creature who can practically regenerate his body parts instantly even after it's cut. Zap's 7th Hell allows him to concentrate his blood into a blazing inferno. This incinerates the opponent with an overwhelming force as well as blistering speed. The visuals of this attack are pure eye candy and nothing to laugh about. All glory belongs to the animators for a job well done on this one. Wistoria, Wand and Sword is a new anime that's basically Harry Potter meets Black Clover. In a world where magic is everything, our protagonist Will is unable to use it properly. But you see, with the power of love and friendship, everything is possible. In Will's case, he's up against the evil Sentinel, a humanoid monster with 10 credits up his ace. Will decided to face this monster even though he wasn't confident in his skills. It takes an extraordinary amount of courage for Will to confront an opponent so formidable. We see Will flowing like water during this battle, avoiding all the rubble thrown at him with precision, and in a moment of pure badassery, destroying the evil Sentinel. I was personally blown away by Wistoria's visuals. I didn't expect such a high production value from a newer anime. It's a breath of fresh air in the industry, and if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you do it ASAP. Now let's talk about the latest season of the much anticipated anime Tower of God. Balm returns as a much more powerful candidate by the name of Viol Grace, ready to climb the tower once again after being betrayed by Rachel. You see, as soon as Viol arrives on the 20th level, he asserts his dominance and shows everybody who's the real boss of the tower. After getting affiliated with Fug, Viol becomes a force to be reckoned with in just 2 years. In an epic display of pure power, Viol reveals to everyone that he's a wave controller. It was at that moment they knew they fucked up. Get it? Anyway, Violet has become a really overpowered character in this new season of Tower of God. We'll get to see his badass side throughout the anime, and to be honest, I personally can't wait. In the end, all I have to say is that Viol didn't choose the Fug life, the Fug life chose him. When it comes to epic showcases of power, wizards always have something interesting to show. Otu Shigeki from Wizard Barristers is the first one to be introduced in the anime. He's some sort of criminal who's chased by police officers. Why is he being chased? Well, we don't know. But after watching this scene, it's safe to say that 90% of the budget went into this scene in the very first episode. It feels like you're being attacked by Otu's magic powers along with the officers. It just lights up your screens in a good way. Bro's powers weren't only limited to the officers on the train. He also completely wrecked a helicopter that was chasing him. Now let's talk about how beautifully this scene was animated. The colours, the sound effects, and the sheer chaos of it all were over the top, but in the best possible way. Also, the epic display of power by Otu left us all wondering just what kind of magic he uses. Ah yes, Konosuba and its cast of some of the most lovable and goofy characters. Let's be honest, out of all the characters in Konosuba, only Megumin seems to be a little useful. Did you notice how I emphasized a little? Well, you see, no character in Konosuba is overpowered. All of them have average powers, but the reason why Megumin exists in this list is because of her gorgeous attack, Explosion. The first time we saw Megumin's explosion, we could see stars right in front of our eyes. The build-up of this attack is extremely beautiful, and the power it holds is just off the charts. Megumin can literally blow up an entire town with this attack. We get to see Explosion a lot of times in the series, but the one time when it was actually useful was against Arnes, a high-ranked demon. This was the most epic explosion of Megumin's life that also left her with a sense of satisfaction, completely destroying her opponent. Let's move on to Kafka, an ordinary guy with an extraordinary problem. Dude only wanted to be a kaiju slayer by joining the defense force instead of cleaning up kaiju goo, but he ended up in a really sticky situation after turning into a kaiju himself. But hey, it's not that bad because he's gotten stronger than most of the defense force members now. In one of his encounters with a kaiju 100 times his size, Kafka completely destroys it with a single punch. How does he even do that? Well, he builds up a lot of his energy into his fist and boom! It's a single mean punch that leaves the kaiju in question in pieces. This showcase of pure raw power is nothing short of legendary. And the music, it has no right to slap so hard. It's really dialed up to 11. Now this might sound ridiculous, but if Pacific Rim and One Punch Man had a child, it would be this scene. Sword Art Online has treated us to some jaw-dropping displays of power, and Kirito undeniably steals the show every single time. Bro literally became a swordsman by accident after getting transported to a virtual world. Let's talk about Kirito's epic display of power against an overwhelming number of players. As they attack him using their magic, Kirito stuns us by cutting through their magic. This dude can cut through even the fastest and strongest sniper bullets with his sword, so why not some magic? It's such a visually stunning scene that I keep coming back to watch it again and again. The highlight of this scene is the slow-mo that Kirito goes into while cutting through the arrows. Poor players went to the boss raid, but the final boss showed up out of nowhere. So, what do we learn, kids? When Kirito says, "Thou shalt not pass, then take thy belongings and leave from whence thee came." Let's talk about the guy who loves living in the shadows. He loves being in shadows so much that he named himself Shadow. Anyway, we get to see Shadow's insane powers when he decides to confuse the matter during the goddess's trial. Shadow faced his opponent Aurora, an enigmatic demon from the past. Now, Aurora isn't the one to be underestimated. She uses blood magic that allows her to manipulate her blood, creating spikes and swords and whatnot out of it. But our boy Shadow's not coming slow as he smoothly defeats Aurora. His expressions while fighting, completely calm. The scene was a feast for the eyes. The contrast between the fiery red of Aurora's magic and the cool, calculated movements of Sid was just so visually striking. Up next we have Goemon Ishikawa from Lupin III, who's the true definition of cool. Dude can practically cut through steel with his sword. His swordsmanship is just legendary. His blade Zantetsuken can turn anything into a ribbon, and that's why the Yakuza shouldn't have messed with him. He takes up an entire army of Yakuza all by himself and his trusty sword. Goemon moving like water while keeping his expressions calm and collected is just another level of badass. He shows us how scary he can be when he's serious. He literally cuts through the Yakuza like butter and none of them even touch a single strand of his hair. Now that's what you call a pure showcase of power. And did you know, this fight scene was animated by Takeshi Koike himself, who's literally a master of fluid animation and smooth fight choreography. And honestly, he's the only person who could have pulled off this scene so perfectly. Before we continue, I'd really appreciate it if you could take a minute and give this video a like if you're enjoying it. This gives me an idea of whether you like watching this type of content and keeps the team motivated to make more for you. And if you're new here, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and be a part of this amazing community of ViniiTube. As you know, none of our lists are complete without an entry from Mob Psycho because it's just too good. Whether we're talking about badass fight moments or visually stunning scenes, Mob Psycho just hits the spot whenever we're making a new list. Anyway, let's talk about the epic battle between Mob and Koyama. You see, Koyama messed up big time when he decided to kidnap Ritsu, Mob's younger brother. There was a little confusion because Koyama thought Ritsu was Mob. Now, Mob gives Koyama a taste of his powers after his animosity level reaches 100%. I don't know if you noticed or not, but Mob was holding back against this guy. I wonder what would have happened if he didn't hold back. Death? Destruction? Of course. This is hands down one of the most visually stunning scenes in the history of anime. Mob's raw power was radiating off the screen. That's a feeling that I just love. When it comes to visually stunning showcases of power, we just can't exclude Full Metal Alchemist. I'm talking about the epic clash between Roy Mustang and Lust. It wasn't even a fight because Mustang soloed Lust and humiliated her in the worst way possible. Mustang turned up the heat on Lust until she was well done. This fiery showdown proved that even a shape-shifting, immortal creature like her couldn't handle the Colonel's flame game. Other than the visual, appealing showcase of power, something feels so different about this scene, and that's in a good way too. It has something to do with the tone of the scene. It's the way Mustang is so cold in his victory, and the way Lust speaks to him as she dies. It's just epic. Also, fun fact for you here. The punishment for the sin of lust is being burnt to death, which makes everything make sense and solid. Let's talk about a feel-good anime where a slime becomes a king. Yes, I'm talking about the time I got reincarnated as a slime, one of the most popular isekai anime. Now this anime series features a lot of overpowered characters, and Shuna happens to be one of them. Being the backbone of Rimuru's slime empire, Shuna is an extremely supportive and useful comrade who's always there to pick up the pieces. In a fight against Edelman, one of Clayman's 5 fingers, Shuna ate and left no crumbs. She wiped out Edelman's entire undead legion in the blink of an eye and duked it out with Edelman, wiping him out of existence as well. She didn't have to put any effort in either. Her confrontation with Edelman is a spectacle of pure power, which lets us know that Shuna isn't the princess who needs protection anymore. The way Shuna's overdrive lights up our screen and our eyes with the prettiest shade of pink is nothing short of stunning. Now, let's move on to Garp's Galaxy Impact. How can we not add Garp's glorious display of power using his Galaxy Impact? I mean, Garp the Fist isn't just a fancy name. We get to see Garp's most anticipated attack in one of the most recent episodes, and boy, oh boy, was it gorgeous. Calling this attack an event would be more suitable, to be honest. After channeling his energy into his fist, he swings his fist, the air ripples, and the ground shakes. The sheer force of the attack creates a shockwave, exploding outward with the might of 1,000 meteor strikes. To think that he wanted to do this to the back of Akainu's head during Marineford just blows my mind. It's literally like an atomic bomb explosion. Bleach has blessed us with some of the most visually stunning showcases of power time and time again throughout the series, and the most recent one just stole our hearts. At first, it was Byakuya's Bankai that took the world by storm, but now there's another contender on the list. I'm talking about Senjumaru's gorgeous display of power against the unlucky royal guards of Yuha. This lady took those supposedly invincible baddies and turned them into a pile of laundry. She didn't just beat them, she absolutely destroyed them. Leal? More like Leal by Gerard, more like Gerard who. And just like that, she destroyed all of the royal guards and was still standing till the end. This woman turned the battlefield into her personal sewing room, and the Stern Ritter was her unfortunate fabric choice. I cannot stress enough how gorgeous the animation looks on this one. Bleach has always blessed us with good fights, but the recent season is just off the charts. The stunning display of Senjumaru's power without even breaking a sweat is what makes her one of the strongest Shinigami. Let's talk about Jujutsu Kaisen, where ordinary life meets supernatural in the blink of an eye. While the anime is just full of epic displays of power, there are so many instances that we've already talked about in our previous videos. But the one that needs recognition and the one that we'll talk about in today's list is the terrific battle between Yuta and Geto. It's so baffling to think about Yuta deciding to duke it out with someone as strong as Geto. But you see, Yuta's also not coming slow because he has the power of Rika, basically the power of love. And as you know, there's nobody that can beat the power of love. Geto is also no exception. And you know what? The pure embodiment of love is a huge laser beam and nothing can top that. And did you know, the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie featured intricate hand-drawn frames of animation. It's just unbelievable how perfect the animation looks when it's hand-drawn. No list that involves visually stunning fights is complete without an entry from the Fate series, and just like always, we're back yet again with a fight from the Fate series, the one between Kana and Sieg. Now, Kana is often hailed as one of the most tragic and heroic figures in the Fate series. Born with divine armor, he's a powerful warrior with a complex past. On the other hand, Sieg's a more mysterious figure, starting as a seemingly ordinary boy who gradually uncovers his true potential. He's a blank slate, shaped by the world around him. You'll get chills when you watch this fight scene. It's such a ridiculously entertaining fight scene that you're gonna want to watch it over and over again. Other than being a literal treat to the eyes, it's important to notice how good the sound of this fight is. It sounds like the blows are so powerful and loud that they can't be recorded properly by a microphone. Naruto, the anime known for its epic battles and stunning visuals, has always made sure to leave its fans in awe when it comes to action and visuals. There's this one fight between Naruto and Toneri that left a great impact on the fans. You see, Toneri is a big, bad guy, a descendant of Hamura Otsutsuki who'd awakened the Tenseigan, granting him immense power. Toneri kidnaps Hinata, using her as bait to draw Naruto to the moon. As the two started fighting, things get heated. After a tough battle, Naruto defeated Toneri, a guy who split the moon in half with one punch. And the fact that he used his bare hands to deflect something that split the moon in half is just crazy. Naruto's display of power is such eye candy, and we absolutely love it. Up next, we have a disturbing story of Denji, who got turned into a chainsaw man after sealing a deal with the devil. Denji had always been crazy, but his craziness reaches new heights when he tries to fight the Bat Devil just because he ate power. Yeah, he was mad because he didn't get to cop a feel before power was consumed. I hope you know what I mean. He might be one of the most relatable heroes at this point. Anyway, Denji looks absolutely badass during this scene, especially at the end when his shirt's unbuttoned. I really love the way Denji launches his chainsaws right after the Bat Devil blows him into the building with his sonic blast. It's so smooth and so satisfying. He absolutely obliterated the Bat Devil and took out his guts as promised. This scene is such a treat to the eyes because of its smooth choreography and dynamic angles. In the end, the only thing I would like to say is thank you, Mappa. Finally, we have the stuff of legends. The moment that shattered the internet to pieces and made the fans go crazy all around the world. You see, after Muzan's epic entry, Gyomei parrying Muzan's attack was the second jaw-dropping scene that we were blessed with during the Hashira training arc of Demon Slayer. Gyomei faced the big boss like it was nothing. Like, he literally went all out from the start, intending to kill Muzan as soon as possible. His sheer display of power is just on another level. No one, and I repeat, no one in Demon Slayer can compete with that. The animators definitely deserve a raise for this one. It's illegal for an anime scene to be this good, honestly. Anybody else got Tengen versus Gyotaro feels from this scene? Because I did. Bro became Tengen for a second. Lastly, let me teach you a valuable lesson. You have to start praying after this guy stops praying. And with that, we wrap up this list of the top 20 most visually stunning showcases of power in anime. There are a lot of moments like this, and we must have missed out on some of your favorites, so don't keep us hanging. Be sure to comment down below any moments that you think should have made this list. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out the most legendary I'm still standing moments in anime. That's all for today. I'll see you soon.